On December 21st, I made my way over to Jump Festa 2020, in between Narita Airport and Tokyo. Since it's run by the Jump Manga Company, there was a lot of things to see, but I only had one thing in mind that day. Located next to a thick Pikachu was the Animal Crossing New Horizons booth. I had heard that Animal Crossing would be there 2 months prior, and since I had missed other similar events, like the Isabelle Handshake one back in May, I was sure excited. From what I can tell, it was similar to the Nintendo Live booth that was up back in September, which is what I expected it to be. There was something that I was surprised about though. KK Slider and Isabelle were actually there! Everywhere that I had checked, like online and even the Jump Festa booklet, stated that you could take pictures with Tom Nook, Timmy, and Tommy, which made it seem like they wouldn't be there. But the Nooks were inside the photo booth, while KK and Isabelle were outside. The two characters took turns standing out front, and every so many minutes, one would leave and the other one would come out. When KK was there, he'd start by playing a medley of his songs, strumming his guitar and occasionally hitting it in time with the music. After performing for a while, people would go up and take pictures with him. Isabelle didn't have a performance per se, but she did spend time posing for everyone, besides just taking pictures. She was so adorable. She walked and moved around just like in the game, and her bells actually jingled when she moved. It was really fun interacting with her. And when I was standing in line at one point, she came over to me and my friend! That was so exciting, I stopped filming properly, but luckily my friend got it all from his perspective, so we can see what actually went down. As you can see, she's still wearing her summer outfit, but since New Horizons takes place on a tropical island, it seems fitting. Lots of people that were walking around started squealing when they saw KK or Isabelle, and I saw some who had brought merch with them. Since there was basically always a character out front, I spent a lot of time just standing near the booth. Now, onto the booth itself. After standing in line, we were let in small groups. The booth had different sections to it, with each part starting with a video message from Tom Nook himself. In the first video, he said that this information session is for explaining the Nook Inc. Deserted Island Getaway Package that we'll be participating in, and that through this, we'd be able to see what kind of excitement is in store for us. After the video ended, we looked around the first area, which had screenshots from the September Direct. The video playing behind KK and Isabelle earlier was also the Direct. On the wall, it says that the island is our paradise, and goes on to explain the bountiful nature that we'll get to experience. The whole time, the New Horizons theme song was playing in the background. After that, we were asked to view the next video. Nook said that while we may be worried about living on a deserted island, Nook Inc. had us covered, and he asked us to check out what we'll be provided with when we start our journey. It was cool seeing the items in real life and how much detail was put into them. You could see that the Nook phone actually had the apps on it if you got close enough to check. The wall behind it said to go to resident services if we had any troubles, how even the island had service for our Nook phones, and that the tent provided can be put anywhere we can go. As you might have noticed, each area was a different color, and the final one was yellow. Maybe they're supposed to represent the sea, the grass, and the beach. Here, we were told that while there may be nothing on the island now, we'll be able to craft the things we need and to take a look around the exhibit to see some of the things we can make. I want to say how gorgeous the graphics look up on a screen. While this was probably pre-rendered, the directs look great as well. Anyways, this section had the workbench where we'll be able to craft, and miniatures of the tools we can make. When I saw pictures of these online, I actually thought they'd be big, so I was a bit surprised that they were smaller than my hand. There was also some more pictures and a wall that asked how we'll choose to live on the island. Okay, so that wasn't really the final part. Next was the photo shoot! This area was my favorite because of how immersive it was. I liked the details like the spots to dig up, and that even the cardboard boxes had the leaf on them. There were benches for us to sit on while we waited for other groups to take their pictures. You could choose from 4 props: the flimsy shovel, axe, fishing rod, and net. The tools were well made and felt good to hold. I wish they'd come out as merch in the future. Some people took full advantage of these and pretended to dig up the spot on the ground, use the net on the character, etc. The photographer took 4 photos and gave time to change poses in between. I actually went through the booth twice, with permission of the staff, so I have 8 photos. I was a bit shy, so I didn't do anything cool. Sorry guys. Also, since I knew I was going to be lining up outside the venue for hours in the cold in the morning, I really bundled up and dressed for comfort, not thinking that I'd be taking pictures that I'd want to cherish for a long time and show on the internet, so sorry for looking frumpy. After the last photo, we got a QR code printed off that immediately had our pictures up. On the way out, we were handed a bag with some goods, which I'll show off at the end of the video. The final part to the booth was the lottery. After handing over Tom Nook's business card and getting it stamped, you turn the wheel to see if you get a towel or just some tissues. Since I went through it twice with my friend, we had 4 chances and we got tissues every time. The amount of time in the exhibit was pretty short. We had very limited time to look around, and even with going through it twice, I was worried if I had gotten enough film of everything, since I felt pressed to keep moving forward. It's supposed to last 10 minutes, but it felt shorter. The photos that people took were displayed on the TV in front, where the direct footage was also shown. And if you notice, some people had pictures of Tom Nook, but not me. I went once at the very beginning of the event and another time a few hours before it closed, but it seems like in between I'd missed my chance to meet him. Also, this picture taken at Nintendo Live implies that both Timmy and Tommy were there, but since they're identical, I can't tell who I had taken pictures with. Maybe both since Tom Nook was in between. Also, here are the shots I took with Isabelle. The characters are all very soft. One thing I wanted to note is that a couple of the characters briefly, exposed themselves. At one point, Isabelle's shirt came undone, and a number of people took pictures with her before a staff member velcroed her back up. Also, a Nookling's something came out, so that was quickly adjusted, and then the staff member gently patted down the fur on his head. You might have noticed the shirt the staff members were wearing. Yes, it's the same as what the Nooks wear, and under the collar in the back it had the game's logo. I was really moved by how good the booth was, and I spent almost all of my time at Jump Festa at it. That's not to say that the rest of the event wasn't good, but to be honest, I haven't read any Jump manga before. There were other things besides that though, of course. I want to apologize too that I'm not a real vlogger, but I tried my best with recording. Some parts are a bit tricky since we were rushed, and if I didn't get a shot quite right, I didn't have the opportunity to just redo it. But hopefully you're able to get a sense of what the experience was like. Okay, next let's go through the things I got. First is the bag to hold everything, which says Nook Inc. Then, Tom Nook's business card, which was stamped for the raffle. I noticed someone with business cards for characters from other franchises that they presumably got at other booths. These are the tissues that I got as a consolation prize. And finally, a pamphlet with information on the game. It's fun to flip through it and get excited about New Horizons, but of course there's nothing new in it. And you can see the comic that I used as a thumbnail for my last video where I talked about Japanese reactions to the game. I'll definitely spend some time admiring this all later. When I was leaving the event, I got this bag of goods that was originally intended for middle schoolers or under. Inside there was a variety of goods from various franchises. I was also handed a couple of Jump manga books while walking around. Keeping in mind too that Jump Festa is a free event, I was very impressed with all of this. And it wasn't very crowded, which I was surprised by. Tokyo Game Show gets pretty busy, and if you don't line up early and dash to the booth you're interested in, you could miss out on getting a numbered ticket and not be able to play the game at all. But this wasn't the case here, and I definitely didn't need to get there as early as I did. I left my home that day when it was pitch black, and got back when it was dark again, true to the winter solstice. The event was worth the hype and anticipation that had built up in me the past couple of months, which is something I can't say very often. I really felt like I accomplished some kind of childhood dream by being able to experience my favorite franchise in this way. The only downside to Jump Festa 2020 was that it made it that much harder for me to wait for New Horizons, but at least there's less than 3 months to go now. Thank you for watching my video! I know a lot of people wish they could have gone, so I hope that I was able to make it feel like you had experienced it yourself. In any case, I'll continue to keep you all updated on my perspective on the world of Animal Crossing.